I'm Brian Goldfinger of Goldfinger Injury Lawyers. Accidents happen, and when they do, you'll want a lawyer who will stand up to the insurance company and fight for your rights. In case of emergency, have this name in your back pocket. Goldfinger. Brian Goldfinger. Visit goldfingerlaw.com and get us working for you.
Get Goldfinger today.
Hello and welcome to the Raptors Reaction Podcast. I'm your host, William Loom, speaking to you after the Toronto Raptors easily dispatched of the Los Angeles Clippers. Actually, no, they're the LA Clippers. They don't want to call themselves Los Angeles because they know Los Angeles belongs to another actual winning franchise in the Lakers. The LA Clippers, my bad, with owner Steve Ballmer in attendance. That's right. He made the trip up north to come see Kawhi Leonard, who obviously he is lusting after. And what he came to see was, honestly, a game that was not competitive whatsoever. The Raptors used a 42-point second quarter to just completely dismantle the Clippers. Now, the Clippers ended up losing 121-103, which is somewhat respectable, but man, they just didn't give it. They just really didn't give effort. I mean, look, granted, they played against Detroit last night, and I think Lou Williams was the one that led this big comeback. The Pistons are just, I don't know. The Pistons are, it's really sad. I feel bad for Dwayne Casey. The Pistons are just really sad. But yeah, the Clippers just didn't have much energy tonight, and they just rolled over. The Raptors came out sharp, moved the ball pretty well. Got good offense. Serge was pretty big in terms of just like protecting the paint and also just in the middle finishing off a couple baskets here or there. But then the second unit came in, and the Raptors really made a concerted effort to play with only the starters and then, only the bench. Like, there's very few mixed lineups. The first time the second unit came in, they just weren't doing anything. Like, they went scoreless for like a solid 3 minutes while the Clippers made a comeback. However, the bench got much better. They started playing with a lot more. They just started playing better defensively, to be honest. They were able to play more in transition, and a lot of these players look a lot better in transition. Delon Wright being the main example of that. Delon has sort of been up and down. This is one of his best performances of the year. He had 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and was just generally very active and pretty aggressive going to the basket, which is, again, very rare for Delon. He's obviously, very gifted and very talented, but he's sort of, passive and whatever, but he was pretty good with the second unit. And the second unit as a whole was pretty solid. I mean, CJ Miles came in, delivered 3 triples. Greg Monroe missed a whole bunch of layups, but I actually thought Monroe was pretty good defensively against Marjanovic, which is, look, it's not such a huge accomplishment to shut down Boban, but, it is a little bit tricky, especially in that pick and roll with Lou Williams. You got to really be able to, give help and step up when necessary, but also hang back because there's a 7'4" giant right behind you. And I thought Monroe did a pretty good job defensively of just, covering the pick and roll. The Raptors as a whole did a really good job guarding pick and roll. Monroe obviously usually not very good defensively whatsoever, so it was nice to see him do that. He also hit a mid-range jumper, which I think might be his only one of the season. Like, he's just been always in the paint, and he's I don't know, but good night for Monroe. Good night for the bench overall after a really slow start, and the Raptors had the lead. Second half starts, Clippers, I thought they might try to make a comeback. They did not at any point try to make any type of push. People try to tell me Tobias Harris is an all-star. Man, this guy had 13 points, 5 of 18 shooting. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing even to be said with Tobias Harris anymore. It's just really, there used to be the J. Cole jokes, but then J. Cole grew out his hair, and so he looks very different from Tobias now. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing. He's very irrelevant, and today he shot 13 points, 5 of 18 from the field. Just wasn't really that aggressive at all. I mean, he went to the basket a couple times in the third quarter, but really, like, nobody on the Clippers could sustain any type of effort. The guy that played the best for the Clippers was probably Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is from Hamilton, and he had a team-high 19 points. I thought he was, pretty good. Actually, the one matchup the Raptors really couldn't handle was Fred guarding Shai, and Fred's probably given up like 7-8 inches in that matchup, and Shai just kind of like drove past and scored on him. But even like Danny Green was on him a couple times, and Shai was able to get scores. But the Raptors, defensively, they were really solid in the sense that they had a good game plan, which was to deny the Clippers of the 3-point line, right? Like, the Clippers shot 2 of 12 from the 3. Didn't send any help on the pick and roll, right? They really tried to keep it in a 2-on-2 situation, and what they really did was they kind of just like pressed up really high, forced the Clippers to drive, and then Serge would hang back and help at the rim. And it's basically like how the Bucks play defense. But yeah, it worked really well because nobody on the Clippers could hit a floater. Like, it was actually kind of funny watching Tobias Harris come in and just like throw up a floater and brick it. And Pat Beverly do the same and brick it. Avery Bradley come in. Avery Bradley has fallen off a lot. Oh my God, he looks awful these days. But he couldn't hit any floaters. And then Mike Scott come in and try to drive. And it just like, I don't know, man. It was kind of sad to see. I mean, like, Lou hit like a couple of jumpers, and Shai was actually pretty good on the little in-between game, but the rest of that team just couldn't do anything in that scheme. And I thought Serge did a really good job protecting the basket. Monroe did a good job protecting the basket, but honestly, I don't know, man. It's just the Clippers. They didn't do much of anything. The only reason they even topped 100 points is because they got some generous free throws, which is like, all right, cool, whatever. But yeah, that was mostly to make it respectable because the Clippers just couldn't generate offense. It was kind of sad to watch. I mean, they shot 2 of 12 from 3. Like, when do you ever see that in the modern NBA? 2 of 12 from 3? That's some 1995 ass, box score right there. But yeah, credit the Raptors defense, I guess. And then on the other side, I'm struggling to find things to describe about this game because it really wasn't that interesting. Like, it was a Super Bowl Sunday. Like, the NBA is just trying to stash like 2 or 3 random games before everyone's attention turns towards NFL, and this was one of them. And they honestly played with that type of urgency. But I don't know what to say really. Pascal hit a corner 3 after Kawhi Leonard, threw him a nice pass. That's cool. Serge was really active on the offensive glass. Hit a 3 which is nice because he hadn't hit one since the Washington game winner, which was like 2 weeks ago. What else? Serge held a baby. It wasn't his baby, but yeah, he held a baby. Like, that's the type of game that it was. Like, a random baby somehow ended up in Serge's lap during the middle of a game, and it wasn't even his child. So, yeah, that was strange, but I don't know. Oh, Kyle got the night off because he has a sore back. I mean, he's sort of consistently had the sore back, and it's disappointing, really, because you want to see Kyle on the floor as much as possible to get chemistry with Kawhi. Obviously, this has become a huge talking point since the Bucks game. It's like these guys are really disjointed, but yeah, I don't know. Kyle just wasn't there. Wasn't on the bench either. Just, resting his back, I guess. But it's a concern. It really is a concern. But it didn't affect this game at all because the Clippers are just really trash. What else? Boucher got into the game. I like that Boucher has taken up Bruno Caboclo's mantle as like the guy people get hyped up for during garbage time, like the human victory cigar type of scenario where Boucher comes in, people cheer loudly because he's Canadian. Also, he's got like a spunkiness to him. Like, he's gonna like play hard and try to get involved, and he's really confident. He's always gonna shoot that trebuchet 3. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Boucher deserves it. He plays really hard every time he comes in, which is great. Like, you want to see all these guys, especially if you're a G League guy trying to crack to the next level and be in an actual rotation, or at least be on a bench. You got to come in and play hard every time you get your number called. And Boucher, in 6 minutes today, had 8 points, 4 rebounds, a steal. Had a 2-handed finish over Marjanovic. Dunked off the nice pick and roll. I mean, I don't know. Boucher, this is a very uneventful game, but Boucher was a nice part of it. But let's just hand out 3 stars. First star, giving that to... I'm giving that to Serge. He's probably the best Raptor tonight. 16 points, 12 rebounds, 6 of 9 shooting, hit a 3, 3 free throws, 5 offensive rebounds, a couple putbacks, a really nice emphatic block. Although that's somehow not credited in the box score. I don't understand. It was a really big block. That's weird. But plus 14 in 22 minutes, held a baby. I mean, I don't know. Looked handsome as hell. Said after the game, I don't watch football, but go Raptors. Like, I very much enjoyed this all-around performance from Serge, both on and off the court tonight. So he gets the first star. Second star, I'm giving that to Kawhi Leonard, who, bounced back from that Bucks game. It wasn't like he took over in this game, but he obviously didn't need to. But I thought he did everything he needed to in terms of like, working out the pick and roll. The Raptors really did give him a lot more pick and roll possessions. I mean, there's the usual post ups, and he was great on those. I mean, seriously, Avery Bradley was trying to guard him and was just like hanging off this man's shoulders. Like it's actually like seeing like when DeMar used to try to guard like LeBron, or anybody on the Raptors used to try to guard LeBron. It was like that level, and it's kind of shocking to see how much Bradley has slipped. But yeah, Kawhi was dominant in the post, but he also ran a couple pick and rolls, made a couple nice passes, hit 2 pull-up threes when the defense went under, which why would you go under on Kawhi? Are you serious? But yeah, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in 26 minutes. Solid effort from him. And then the third star, I'm going to give that to Delon Wright. I thought he was really active off the bench. Just poking free rebounds and, picking off Lou Williams on the crossover, which is not easy. Lou has got a pretty good crossover. He gets everybody on that, but not today for Captain Lou Williams. But yeah, that's it for this game, really. Oh, the Gerald Henderson Award. I guess I'll go to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, although I don't want to disparage him because I feel like he's he's not a Gerald Henderson type, but yeah, he was real solid today. I'm happy every time players come home and have a good homecoming. It's always nice to see. This is his first NBA performance in Toronto. I'm sure he had a lot of people driving up the QEW to come from Hamilton to come see him play, and he showed out. He really did. I mean, he played like the one thing that everyone talks about with Shai is that he's exceptionally calm and steady for a guy who is a rookie. Like, he's 20 years old. He played 1 year in Kentucky, and he wasn't even that good, to be honest, until the tournament, and then to step in right away, to hold down a starting job, to be really solid defensively, and also to be able to score 19 points. Like, it wasn't like he was doing one thing over and over again, getting easy buckets. Like, he had a variety of finishes. The mid-range pull-up is nice for him, and he's just overall really crafty. He led the team with 3 assists too, which is kind of sad, but yeah, 3 assists. I mean, Shai's a good one, man. Shai's a good one, and it's one of those guys where, like, I don't know, man. I saw him at Crown League this last summer, I guess, and he was just killing it. Like, he was by far the best player on the court. Now, the thing is, like, Crown League the competition is sort of hit or miss sometimes, but it is a really physical league with, like, grown dudes, and people are, like, really playing very hard most of the time. So it's, like, it's not easy for a guy to come in and dominate. Like, I remember seeing Pascal playing it last year, or 2 summers ago, and he looked terrible. Like, he was getting bullied by Javon Shepard and stuff, who's like, 10 years older than Pascal. So it makes sense. But still, I mean, Pascal wasn't actually playing that well. He still had like 25 or whatever, but like a lot of it was free throws and whatever. Shai was just controlling every single aspect of the game. Was so good defensively, scored at will, so crafty. And I was just like, man, I really hope this translates to the NBA. And he really has done that. So it's good to see Shai doing his thing, but yeah, I don't know. This was a boring Raptors game. It's a great win. The Raptors obviously, were able to keep their starters' minutes down. I mean, all of them played 26 minutes or less, but seriously, like, the Clippers just didn't show up. It is what it is. I'm happy though that Ballmer got to come all the way up north to come see this. I'm sure you enjoyed it with your tuck shirt and dad jeans. I mean, I don't know, man. Looking like Despicable Me. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for the podcast. I'll be back after the next Raptors game. Oh, also, there was a Raptors Republic and Yahoo Sports post-game show. It was a sort of collaboration that we're doing between the two companies here. And I was on that show along with Ashley Docking, Vivek Jacob, and also Amit Maan. And yeah, I mean, it's the first time I did a televised show like that. And, well, I mean, I guess there was another one earlier in the year, but this one, the actual technical stuff worked really well and was live streamed on Twitter and stuff. It's on YouTube now if you want to find it. It was a post-game show after the Bucks game, so it was a bit depressing, but yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear people's thoughts. If you saw the show, or if you are going to check out the show, just let me know what your thoughts are, where we can improve sort of the show as a whole. If you like the direction of it, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, drop a line on Twitter as always, William_Loop. But yeah, I'll be back after the next game. Peace.